Right. So here we have an SQL that has been developed by using QBE. And most of the time, when you develop databases, you will use QBE, and even if you have forms, you will use QBE to design them with buttons on the form. But we need to know, as per the syllabus, and as per this is what businesses tend to do, or database administrators and even network administrators work in what's called MySQL. But in a nutshell, what you really have to know is the keywords and the key terms. So I'm going to explain them to you. So here is one of the words, which is select. This is from where, and we tend to have another one called sort, and we can even have show. But the three keywords are these ones here, and they're really important because this is where you start to get some interpretation for questions that occur in the HSC. And if I call up my little Word document that I have, which says SQL examples in the HSC, here is what's known as the relational operators, and we need to know which ones are the relational operators, and obviously this diagram tells us which ones they are, so that's a pretty straightforward question. This one here is looking at the information processes, and we talk about Y2K bug, and I'll talk about that later. If we move down, you can see that this is a search one. You can see that and, or, we talked about those, what's known as logical operators. And if we keep scrolling, what we tend to do is we get tables with data in it. And like I said the other day, this could be anything. It could be printers, it could be hopscotch scores for all the syllabus and the HSC is concerned. And then we have this is what's known as a decision tree, and we'll go through those later on. But then you can see that they put it into a pretty easy format where it says select from where. Now, if we go back to our database, there's those words there. Now, the format is this. We select the name of the field, which is that one, right? So F name, and then we have L name, and we have height, and we have DOB. But what they put in SQL is they say, where did you get that from? Well, we got it from the student details table, the F name, and we got it from the student details table, the L name, and so on and so forth. And then it says from, right, from where did you get that information from? Well, we got it from the student details table, inner join to the contact details, so it tells you what the relationship is. And then the student details table, ID equals, this is the relationship. This is mainly just what we're talking about as far as the relationship goes. But really what we need to see is just that is the student details table. And the where is the criteria. And it says from the student details table, at the height one, we want it to be greater than or equal to 179. Now, if we go back to that HSC question, we can see that says select. These are the fields. All right, so they're the headings at the top of the table. This is the table. See, it even says acid TBL. Well, TBL is the table. And where is the category or the criteria of what we're searching for? So odor, right, which is a field, has to equal strong, and it also has to be greater than 0, the MP, so whatever the MP is. So there's the MP. It's probably not a politician, it's probably a scientific term, and hey, I'm not a scientist, so I don't need to know that. But what I do need to know is to sit down here and work out what this will give me if I do that correct, and these are the ones that are chosen. We also get, if I remember correctly, so there's another one, select product name. Now that will be the field from the product, which is the table, where price is greater than 9. So does that work? Yeah, maybe, I don't know. We also get, I'm looking for another one which has the SQL at the top. Oh, by the way, I want to show you this one. This one here, these are called system flow diagrams, and there was all these massive amounts of symbols that you had to learn, and they changed the syllabus in 2010 and said, guess what, guys, you don't have to learn that anymore. So we didn't learn that anymore, and I wasn't able to put that in the exams anymore, and that is a very cool feature. So what I'm looking for here, and I may not have one, so is the SQL already set up. And I'm going to be unlucky, I think, because there isn't going to be one. But sometimes you get this, and it says, using a data dictionary. That is a data dictionary. We've done data dictionaries. It says construct an SQL command that would display the names of the countries in the continent of South America where most of the population speaks Spanish. What you would have to do is say select. Now, this table is called countries. You would have to select the field names that would satisfy this. Select the field names from the table, which is called countries, where, and you'd have to say South America, and most of the population speaks Spanish. So you would be looking for language equals Spanish and South America. So to be continent of South, yes, continent equals South America and language equals Spanish. And it's worth 3 marks. So you would have to do select. So we'd go back and say, we'd have to choose select from where. So we'd have to do this one, select from where, and we'd have to satisfy that argument. It's really, really simple, but I found in the past that students have struggled with creating these things, creating the actual SQL. They can read them and interpret them, but they find they come unstuck when they have to design them. And I discovered that when I think it was actually this question. I put this question in, and I went, whoa, students aren't able to do that. And based on the information or the feedback from last year's HSC, when they put a SQL construction question in, my students didn't do very well. So I'm making sure that you are able to do them as well.